Good. So now, what about the subwoofer? Did we connect the subwoofer? What about the front field? Are we happy with the level of the front field? Well, now it's a good idea to start creating a different concept of group, grouping the PA system into a group, not only to have the global EQ, it was asking about the global EQ of the group, U, not only to have the global delay, but also to have the possibility to play with the level of my entire PA once I have found the relative levels among the several components. So I want to see the PA like a whole, or very specific in different things. So let's get to the matrix 8x8, where I have my PA sections, and let's clear the multi-selection and shift and click the several portions of the PA system. I already have those ones, so I right-click, I create a group assign. Let's start from the 9th, because I might have other inputs, and I logically prefer to divide the first A group for the input, but it's just my problem, and it shouldn't be your problem. So this is my main PA. So the main PA, I mean out fill, front fill, and main PA. No delays, no subwoofer. Okay, I wanna have the level together. I wanna have the FIR filter grouped, and I wanna have the group delay possibility. So once I have aligned internally my main PA, I must be able to move the entire PA towards the subwoofers back and forth, or towards the delay line back and forth. So it's a good idea to have grouped all the aspects, not just the level, but also the FIRQ and the delay. And as I did before, I go to the group, I get my main PA, I extract that and put it somewhere here. Unfortunately, this screen is limiting the resolution. My Mac could have been a much higher resolution. You need some real estate when it gets complicated. So unfortunately, we have to play with the HD definition, typical resolution, because the screen cannot get any higher, but we will make it.
Okay. Can the individual variable outside the frame with the font?
Sorry?
Can that individual fader be pulled onto like a second screen?
Yes, absolutely. No. You can have a second screen, and then when you store the layout, it remembers if it's in the main screen or left and right up, so you can have as many screens as you want. This is an operating system feature. So every time you have a flying object or a floating object, which I've been told from the British, don't call it float, because it has a different meaning. I don't know if you have a float in English is something different. But anyway, the floating object, it's really an independent. So if you have the thing like that, it's really, so it's like another application. It's a complete individual. So you can put it everywhere you want, okay? Which has positive aspects and negative aspects, because when you have Globcon floating objects all around and you are mixing up with other software, but yes, I mean, there's no other way to give you the possibility to put your floating objects wherever you want. So they are completely independent at that point.
You create the layout of two screens and then we call it a single screen, we'll bring it all back.
No, and then once you don't have the second screen any longer, yes, it brings everything on the main screen, and then you have to restart and redefine. But if exactly the same shape that you used when you created the layout, it will be exactly like that. Remember that layout is just getting the coordination X, Y, and the operating system is starting the X, Y in one point, and it's just adding other things. So if it's not there, of course, it's trying to put something in the X, Y, which is not available at that moment with the operating system. In that case, it doesn't have any possibility, and it's putting right in the middle of the main screen. So you just have to reshuffle a little bit and repositioning and restore the layout with the new screen. And Globcon is telling you when the screen resolution has changed. You have a warning saying, hey, you changed the resolution, so you might want to revise your layouts and stuff like that. Okay, so I had a group there, which is super useful, because now if I want to give up with 3dB with my entire PA system, I just have to do that. And then you see that, whoop, I'm going there and I'm going up. And this is true for all the things. And if I want to spill the content of the PA, I just have to double click here and I have the content of the PA here. So I can have this one and then I can put this. So once I finish to set up my Prodigy, I don't need to have the PRODIGY.MP with all the tabs. I'm just keeping what I really need to have under control. A bunch of input, a bunch of output, and the spill thing. So I could also do this. If I was supposed to manage this PA system in this condition, I would separate the main matrix here. So I would remove this in order to have this one separated and put it here. So this is the way that I'm sending the several inputs towards the main matrix. Then I would get my U2 splitted or spilled beside that. So I know exactly what is the situation of the U2 things. I can resize that and I can put it beside this one. So this is the U2 master with the U2 thing, with these components. Then I have the Alan Parsons with its component. Unfortunately, it cannot get smaller than this, so you are consuming a little bit of real estate. And then you can have the Yes with its component, and let's put the main PA system there. So it starts to look like what I need to babysit my PA system. We are pretty close with that. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna refresh the layout called PA. If I close down everything, I need to get back to the PA, Command R for recall, PA, there you go. So now I know that U2 is faded out, so I wanna fade it in. I need to get my PA a little bit hotter globally. Careful because my voice is included. My PA is getting hot. You see that my voice is getting hotter. So you have a better idea. If you need more U2, just raise the volume of the U2. If you are not happy with the subwoofer of the U2 and you want to have the subwoofer of the U2 a little bit more performing, you just have to do this. If you want to mute just the PA system of the U2. So it's evident that the dynamic range or the input, the sensitivity input of the subwoofer is far from the other speakers because the subwoofer is not working that much. So it's a good idea to do this. And the front fill is not performing at the moment. So there's something wrong with the front fill where it should produce some audio. So the front fill is not patched. Okay, so there's a very simple way. At this point, where should I go to check what's wrong? You have the hardware output. If the hardware output is not modulating, it means that you are not patching something on the output. If the hardware output is modulating, you have to call the guy which is in charge of the wiring and to the PA system, because at that point is his problem. So you simply open the PRODIGY.MP, you get to the output page, you get to the output, there's a very simple thing. I didn't raise the volume of the output. That's the reason why they are not sounding. So, slowly, I get that. Try to feed the amplifiers correctly. And then all of a sudden, let's do it one by one. For some reason, the multi-selection sometimes. So I think that we better do this. Let's get to the PA, main PA. Mute it for the time being, raise the volume down, put those at 0 dB, so we don't have problems any longer of doing like that, and then give up something like 20 dB, just in case we want to be sure. Okay, now, I should be able to unmute the PA and slowly come up with the PA until I see my voice is okay. Okay, well, at this point, the U2 should be feeding not the subwoofer, because the subwoofer is not creating but the front fill. There you go. The front fill is here. We can double check. It's important. We have the master of the front fill and we have the front fill feed separate. So what if now, just to see if it is working, I want to delay the front fill? I open the delay on the front fill. Is that really delayed now? 456 meters. It is. Because my voice is now delayed 456 meters, which is not a good idea. Let's go back. It is working, right? So let's try to unmute the U2. There you go. So left and right of the U2 is going where it should go. The front fill Good. So let's now work on the subwoofers. First of all, we have to make sure that the subwoofer is patched. So why the subwoofer is not working? Let's go back to the output. The subwoofer is not working, is not modulating. Why? Maybe it's not patched, because now the volume is up, but it's not modulating. But here is modulating. Therefore, go to the routing page, and the subwoofer is not created because we didn't work on the second matrix, which is the one that we want to use. This is the subwoofer main feeds, but we didn't connect that directly because we have 8 different potential subwoofers that we want to play with. Therefore, we go to the subs, we straight patch the master of the subwoofer here, we get the subwoofer number 1, we get to 0 dB, this is the sub number 1, and we put, I don't even want to use an FIR filter, I don't need an FIR filter, I just need an IIR, and I put a delay on that. That is the channel that I want to send to the physical subwoofer. The first one of 8 or 20 or whatever it is. I'm just using a different one. Now I'm ready to do the routing. Go to the routing. The subwoofer is an 8 by 8 matrix. This is the sub number 1. There you go. Ooh, ooh. My voice is not going to the subwoofer, but the U2 does. Or do, if there are more than one. U2 does. Do, does. So, okay, I'm now ready to test. So, is the sub calibrated or not? Well, that's a different story, but fade out. Is Alan Parsons feeding the subwoofer? Well, I cannot use a different subwoofer here, but it's easy for me to mute anything else and just the subwoofer. Yes, because I did create the monosum towards the subwoofer based on the left and right. Is yes? Is yes? Of course yes. There you go. The subwoofer, the fields, and the main. So I'm good to go. Crossfade. So far, so good. It's logically clear. Recap. Hardware input, several consoles, maybe 3 channel, maybe 4 channel, maybe 2 channel, doesn't matter. Input channels, grouped, sent to a main mix matrix in order to receive all the inputs and create 4 main feeds to then be spread throughout the amount of different feeds, no matter what number is our PA made of. What if now I want to delay the entire PA, main PA, compared to the sub? So first of all, I would like to have another group for the subwoofer and another group for the delay, so I have my entire PA under control. So let's step by step do that. So let's try to create a little bit of real estate here. So I go to the PRODIGY.MP, I go to my subwoofers. Now, I'm not going to put more than 1 channel. I'm going to put 3 or 4 channels anyway, just to, and then I create a group assign. This is going to be my subs. And I want to have the level and the delay for all the subs. Okay. Then I want to go to the groups. I want to create the subs, floating faders, and put it here. Since I have potentially more than 1 sub, I put the other sub here, get rid of the solo buses for the time. Great. So let's update my layout. PA is now getting bigger and bigger. Yes. Yeah, it's easy. So the delay is easy, but let's say this is a delay that I put there. If I want to copy and paste something, I can copy and right-click, paste. And if it's a complicated, no, it's just a delay plugin. No, you can paste, insert and paste. So let's remove this. If I want to copy this and insert and paste, it will come with already the settings.
You do that for a whole channel?
Yes. The fact that you copied and pasted doesn't mean that they are linked now. It's just a dry copy and paste. Let's get rid of the delay. All right. Now, are we good? I mean, shall we do the delay? It's going to be the same thing. And I'd rather prefer to keep those two speakers as a solo monitor thing, but it's exactly the same if it would have been a delay. Come on, doesn't make any difference, right?